Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and if you are new here, hey, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing for lots more diamond painting content, and if you are back, welcome back. Today I am here for my weekly WIP and Chat, and if you're new and didn't know, WIP stands for Work in Progress, and Chat stands for Chat, so feel free to whip out your WIP and work alongside me. I'm going to be working on a diamond painting today and just chatting about the past week, what's been going on, talk about my project and things that are going on. And I always look forward to Monday mornings when I get to catch up with you. So yeah, let me go ahead and let you know what I'm working on and with today. I am going to be working on a cross-stitch conversion project, and is different than the ones you've seen me work on here before. This is a cross-stitch conversion of the piece. It's the cross-stitch chart of Loki. This is by Mandy Manzano and has been legally licensed by the Etsy shop Creatively Stitching to turn into a cross-stitch chart. And I'm taking that chart and I'm turning it into a diamond painting on a blank canvas. And if this is the first time you're hearing about such a thing as a cross-stitch conversion project, I will point you in the direction of a playlist that I have that has covered a couple of different cross-stitch conversion projects I worked on, and kind of talks about how to approach it and what it looks like. It's definitely a different kind of challenge for your brain, but I find that I really enjoy it. And so I have more thoughts I'll share with you guys about why I started this project when I did and stuff. But first, let me cover what else I've got here. So the chart, like I said, is from Creatively Stitching and by Mandy Manzano, and the canvas and the diamonds are both from Jaded Gem Shop. And I paid for Jaded Gem Shop's kit up service, and I wanted to try out these. They're the 1x1 containers, which my friend Lindsay from Emeralds and Fairy Lights really likes them, and so I thought, sure, I'll go ahead and try out this conversion, with like the kit up service. And so it came in those containers and just ready to go. So I'm going to be using some new things from a recent small shop haul. At least a couple of these things are from that. But I have this pen, which is from Elite VP or Elite V Pen Designs on Facebook, and the shop owner and my friend Cindy had sent me over 2 pens from the shop. One was a gift from the shop owner, and one was a gift from my friend. And I apologize in advance if you don't feel like you can watch the diamond painting, because this part is just so mesmerizing. But I have this. They sell through their Facebook group, which I'll have linked below. And then the tray is from Muni Made. And then the pins, this one I'm almost positive is from Mo Pins, and I converted it into a cover minder. I've got a video on how I do that. It's not hard, you guys. This one, I'm blanking on the shop this one is from. My apologies, but felt very apt given the that Loki season 2 is airing at the moment. And then I'm going to be I haven't used the Sensible by Design wax in my single placer. I haven't used it in a while, but I do like it. And then I'm going to be I just unboxed this in my most recent small shop haul, this Pity Putty in the scent Churro in my multi-placer. And then with my cross-stitch conversion projects, I do find myself reaching for release paper, and this release paper is from Crafts with Crashly. So I do need to prep this next row with you guys. I'll show you how I'm approaching that with this project and talk a little bit more about that as we go. First, let me get my pen all ready to go, and have that loaded up. So I'm going to be popping in one of these thin metal multi-placers from Diamond Art Club into the end, but a lot of times these placers will be a little bit loose in a pen, which is, you guys, is actually a good thing, because if they tried to make them to fit perfectly snugly, and if it wasn't perfectly universal across the board, there's just way too great a chance that you would break your pen. So you can either wrap some washi tape around the end and pop it in, which I feel like is I feel like this is a good idea, especially if you're going to be changing it between, you're pulling out this placer and putting it in different pens regularly. I think the washi tape method is probably the easiest one. But if you're like, if you only have one pen that you're really using, or if you have a bunch of these placers, you could use hot glue. I just had a pen from a different turner recently that they had hot glued the plastic tips, the plastic multi-placers in. And all I had to do was just gently twist it, and it just kind of, it was hard enough to like break the hot glue, but it didn't harm the pen at all. So I've tested that. It does work out just fine. So I feel so bad to mess up this really cute paw print, but here we go. I do love how Pity Putty does their putties in these paw print shapes. It's so cute. So anyway, there's just some tips about placers and whatnot. It's a little warm today, so putty tends to run just a little bit soft. I've only used Pity Putty a few times in WIP and Chats, so it's a little bit of a learning curve for me still. I can do a little bit in that end. Hopefully that'll just, yeah, there we go. So hi you guys, how are you doing today? I hope that you had a wonderful weekend and that your Monday and your week are off to a wonderful start so far. I apologize in advance if you hear me doing some yawning or similar. I'm dealing with some fatigue issues just related to the anxiety medication that I started I think about a week and a half ago now, maybe almost 2 weeks, but anyway, so here's what I do with how I'm working on this particular canvas. Now, if you were to order a canvas from Jaded Gem Shop now, a blank canvas, I believe it would come with numbers, like a number grid on it, and you don't have to worry about those showing once you've placed diamonds down, because when you're doing a diamond painting, a cross-stitch conversion, you're going to be putting down square drills, and as long as the square drills are good, which Jaded Gem Shops usually are, it's going to completely cover that up, and you're not going to see the number grid. Or in this case, I'm about to use a Sharpie and extend some of these lines, and what I'm doing is I'm creating squares that are going to match the squares that are on the cross-stitch chart, which I'll show you in just a minute in my Pattern Keeper app on my tablet. But this just really helps with the process of kind of counting and making sure that I'm sort of staying on track. So I do just a horizontal line where I'm darkening it. It is already dark, but this just gives me additional visual guidance so that I can, it makes it a little bit easier, and it helps it go a little bit faster, which cross-stitch conversion projects do tend to take longer because the symbols aren't pre-printed on a canvas for you. You're counting and placing according to that. And so anyway, so I work on 2 rows at a time with this particular project. So that's why I lined off 2. And I'm going to extend these vertical lines. And I have it go past the top one because then I know where to pick up right back off, like we have here. Once I finish these 2 lines. So I will tell you what, you guys, this has been a really different sort of project to work on compared to my other cross-stitch conversion project. For one, this has been going significantly faster, like much faster. And I think largely because there is a lot more color blocking. And I don't know, I feel like it's going a lot faster. My other cross-stitch conversion project it's really, really large. I broke it down into 8 panels that are actually not dissimilar in size to this one panel, but this is still going incredibly quickly, comparatively speaking. So I lined that all off. Now I'm folding on the plastic sheet to this horizontal line right here because I'm only going to be working on these 2 rows. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of this release paper, and I just need 4 sheets in total. And then I just use this to cover it up, at least for when I do this first bit across. And I'll show you, it'll make more sense when I show you the chart. how I'm working on it this time, because like I said, it is really different from how I approach my other project, honestly. So let me kind of stick these over here so you can still see and enjoy them. I don't really need the cover minders necessarily, but they make me so happy. This kit is an excuse to bust out all of my Loki minders. It's just way too fun. Okay, I'm actually, I don't know why I'm putting that all up there when I'm really just gonna need my cross stitch chart handy. So I'm using the Pattern Keeper app, and let me find, where are we? Oh, I see, okay. So I'm going to be working on, like I said, kind of 2 sections at a time, and you can see the lines that break this down into 10 by 10 squares. I like the Pattern Keeper app also because it tells you how many, I haven't diamond painted it all today. I'll tell you more about why later. Then it tells you exactly what percentage you're at, like how many you've placed out of the total. And you guys have been working on this for less than a week, and I'm already at 28% completion. Okay, this is really bright, and that's going to throw off filming, so I'm going to turn down the brightness a bit. Hopefully that helps. And then I'm going to set this up here, which is fine. You guys don't really need to see the chart itself anyway. But yeah, so how I've been working on this, and that I found to be much more efficient with how I'm taking the time to do so, is I'm working on, like I said, 2 rows at a time. And what I'm doing is I'm picking a color and I'm going across and doing all of that color in these 2 rows from left to right. And you're going to see why that is especially helpful, because we're going to start out with doing the black outlining. We're going to start off with the 310. And if you've worked on a Mandy Manzano piece before from Diamond Art Club, or done like a cross-stitch conversion like this, you'll know that one of the really big characteristics of her artwork is all of, bless you, all of the, that was my husband, all of the black outlining. It's very, very characteristic of her artwork, and it looks really great as a diamond painting. And so I find it really satisfying, and also, again, really efficient and easy to do all the black outlining first, and then we'll go back in and fill in some colors. Honestly, I don't know if we'll get through much more than the black outlining, if that, in this WIP and Chat, just because when I'm doing a WIP and Chat, I move a little bit slower with diamond painting, even on a cross-stitch conversion. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But this is very different from my approach with my other project, where I'm working on it in, I didn't load up this pen, that's why it's not picking anything up. I work on it in like 1 column at a time, and I really will only open up like maybe 3 10 by 10 sections at a time max, because it's so highly confetti heavy. I don't want to try to go through and place all of the diamonds and the colors that I need all the way down the column, though maybe I should try that. Maybe that would still be more efficient in a way, but I don't know. I still feel as though I'm very much a newbie to doing cross-stitch conversion projects, even though I've been working on them in some form for over, it'll be I think 2 years at the beginning of 2024, so a year and a half at least. But I still just sort of feel like I'm learning as I go, and so take all of what I say with a grain of salt in that sense. But I think you kind of just got to find what works for you, because it is a kind of project that just requires a lot more brain power and a different approach to diamond painting in general. So anyway, why in the world did I decide to start on this project? So I had finished up the kit Haha Halloween from Jaded Gem Shop, and I picked back up on Plant Witch from Distracted by Diamonds, and I was like, what else do I maybe want to work on after I finish Plant Witch? I was kind of scrolling through my gems flow, and I had in mind, I had a list of kits that were related to the event that I, originally thought I might try to work on during the course of the event, and just none of them were really calling my name. So I decided to kind of just scroll through my gems flow, and it just kind of occurred to me, and as I was scrolling, and I came across this kit, and I thought, oh my gosh, I want to work on this Loki cross-stitch conversion kit. It hadn't really been much of an option for me because in my head for some reason, because up till this point anyway, because I thought, okay, I really want to try to finish my other larger cross-stitch conversion project first. And then, then I'll only have one going at a time. It'll help me stay motivated to work on my other cross-stitch conversion project. But I got so excited at the prospect of starting this one. I thought, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to start on this one anyway. And I'm so happy that I did. I think it was easy to talk myself into it because season 2 of Loki is airing and I'm enjoying it so much. I'm just very much in a Loki mood. So the timing was just perfect. And I'm thoroughly enjoying working on this kit. It makes me, like, after this one, I won't have any other Loki related kits in my stash. And so it's making me want to go try to hunt down, some other cross-stitch charts or something like that are similar that I could have in my back pocket to work on if I wanted to. But yeah, so it has been encouraging to see that this is going a lot faster than my other project. It makes me go, okay, so I'm not just really bad at doing cross-stitch conversion projects. It's that the ones that I have tackled, I just have picked artwork that's so highly detailed that it's pure confetti, and that just by nature is going to go much slower. So I have to keep that in mind too. But I do want to make sure I finish Plant Witch before the end of the month, so I can have that as kind of a finish related to Drills and Chills, and for the end of the month too. So I haven't abandoned that one. I have, I think, just 2 rows left on it, and I'll have to pull that one back out soon so that I don't run out of time. But yeah, it's been fun. Is anyone else watching Loki season 2? As of the time of this video going up, there's just 3 episodes that have dropped. I think that there are going to be 6 in total. And I'm definitely making my husband watch it with me as soon as the new episodes go up, just because it's like, well, this is like one of my favorite characters, and just in fandom in general. So, and he's such a good sport about it, and we're enjoying it. I won't go into any spoilers, but yeah. So anyway, you can kind of see as I'm going, I pull this, once I kind of do all the colors in a set of squares, then I move the release paper and we get into, the next set of squares, and you can't really see it on the chart, but I'm, referring to that as well. Color blocking, it's glorious. Drills and Chills. Speaking of Drills and Chills, it has been going pretty well. I am... it's always bittersweet to see the end of the event in sight. We just have one more week. This week will be our last week of weekly videos, and it's weird. It's nice in a way because I have that guaranteed sort of thing on my calendar, a video to do during the week. I don't have to come up with content for Saturdays at the moment, but at the same time, it'll be nice to have that freed up and just sort of be able to focus on, I don't know, other kinds of videos and things. I had fun branching out just a little bit. For me, it felt like branching out by doing the video that went up. Today is Sunday when I'm filming this, and I had that video with the diamond painting kits from Target, and I thought, well, this is a nice sort of change of pace. It's not necessarily just these usual kinds of companies that you order from online. It's like, this is something you could find in a big box store and whatnot. So it was fun, and I kind of shifted my approach and my attitude and how I talked about it. I tried to make it be very beginner friendly, as though I thought maybe there are people that aren't necessarily seasoned diamond painters that might come across this video. Maybe they find this thing at Target and go to look it up. So I don't know. I had fun in a way branching out from my normal. And when I am in the middle of hosting and putting on an event, sometimes I feel like I don't have the mental margin for that sort of thing. I tend to otherwise sort of sink into what my routine and my usual sorts of videos and mentalities are. So yeah, like that was fun to do, but I've also just felt really, really lucky to get to be a part of hosting this event and blown away by the amount of participation. I haven't checked since last week, but we had over 600 individual entries for the grand prize, and I just I cannot get wrap my brain around that. So that's been good, but it's been an interesting year in a lot of ways. We've had like this really amazing exponential growth, but then like I've run into this issue that I have not ever had with an event before, which is that Lindsay and I both are having our videos targeted by like spammers and scammers, and like people that are like, someone's like creating an account so that it looks like us. They're spoofing us and are just leaving these replies to comments saying, you know, you've won this contest, and you go to click on their profile and it gives you it like says like text this number. And so you know, Lindsay and I went in and tried to set in like some comment filters and word filters and stuff on our accounts, but it stinks because I feel like I would feel so terrible if someone fell for something and or at the very least, like they're disappointed or they feel like they have to worry about this being a thing if they leave a comment on a video and interact. So that's been kind of a bummer and not something we've had to, you know, deal with before. But we're working around and through it as much as we can and trying to just like communicate really clearly with people, like, you know, putting a post in the Facebook group and trying to delete shenanigans as soon as we see them. So you know, that's been a bummer though. And there's just been like a really I've had just a lot of comments in general on my videos, and that's been like, I've had a bit of a hard time trying to keep up with that, and it affects like how I keep up with comments even on my regular videos. And not that that's something I'm very great at in general, but it's something I always wish that I could be better at, and try to find ways to go, okay, how can I be more reliable and consistent about responding to comments? How can I settle into kind of a rhythm and a routine of it? Let me make sure. I think that I messed something up. Hold on a second. Okay. And then 3, and then 2, and this should be a 2. Okay, I did. Something doesn't look right. 2, 3, 2. Yeah, okay, so this should be a 2. And then that's a 3. Okay. Something's still not right. Hold on a second. I'm going to figure it out. 2, 2, 3, 2, 2. Oh, I got it. Okay, here we go. I just misplaced that one. You're supposed to be right there. Okay. It's like, it shouldn't be that hard, but it hurts my brain. But yeah, so comments in general, and then there are always, you know, you get comments that it's like they're not particularly kind, or they're trying to get in like a dig or something like that, and you know, just delete and block. That's the best advice I can give to any other content creators that deal with that kind of thing. Is like, don't give it your time. There's always going to be people like that, and they're not your problem. Just delete the comment and block. And oops, that placer popped right out. Maybe I need to add a little more washi tape. But yeah, and speaking of advice, I have gotten some, you know, comments and emails and messages lately, and if you're one of them, I apologize that I haven't necessarily had the chance to respond, but I have been getting a lot more questions lately. And this has always been a thing, but it has ramped up more recently. People, you know, saying, "Hey, I'm thinking of starting a YouTube channel, and I wondered if you had any advice to give, or if you could share info about, you know, XYZ, like what you use, this and that." And first, I think it's wonderful. The more the merrier as far as starting a channel, and I love it, and I completely support you. And I'm so sorry I don't always have the margin. I really rarely have the margin to respond to those kinds of things. And I really should maybe try to come up with just sort of a list that I can just copy and paste and share. Like, what are some of my top tips I suggest if I had those. Though really, I didn't know what I was doing when I started my channel. I just set up my phone and I hit record. I had, watched what other people were doing and knew that, like, okay, so WIP and chats are a thing, and unboxings are a thing, and reviews are a thing. Those sorts of things. Like, I had that understanding, but I didn't go into it like, okay, I'm gonna get all this fancy equipment. I still don't have fancy equipment, you guys. I still film on my phone, and I still just use like mostly free programs. Like, I use iMovie, and I think that there may be some others, maybe I guess more generic things that are helpful to keep in mind. Things like don't really just try to carbon copy what other people are doing. Try to come up with your own sort of unique voice and way of doing things, and know that it takes time. There's not like a sudden magic way that all of a sudden you're going to have 1,000 subscribers overnight. Like, I don't remember how long it took. Months. It was months and months and months for me. And it's, so there's that. There's like, do it because you actually enjoy the craft and enjoy making videos about it, and you feel like you have something to share and to contribute, not because you want to get in it to try to get free stuff. I don't know. I've always kind of said this, that I feel like, especially the people that are watching your videos, I feel like they can sense that sort of attitude a mile away. People are way smarter than we probably all give them credit for. So just, I guess, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, and don't be afraid to just delete and block with comments. Like, you have to have a thick skin when it comes to comments, because people on the internet, just the way that people will talk when it's not actually to someone's face, and it's like, it doesn't feel like it's a real person. It feels like it's just a nameless or a faceless entity on the other side of a screen. You have to be able to not let that get under your skin. And I have to remind myself of that regularly. There are some days where I feel like I'm great at taking that advice, and other days where I'm like, these comments have just gotten to me to the point that I don't even want to have a channel anymore. So, find kind of that healthy way to handle that, like, not everyone's going to like you, or that, that you're going to get those, criticisms and that sort of thing. But focus on, like, you'll also meet some really wonderful and delightful people. And when you find kind of like your people and your voice and kind of who your audience or your crowd is that you click with, then that's absolutely wonderful. I'm really, really, really grateful for you guys that come in and watch my videos. Some of you have been here since I started over my channel just over 3 years ago, and had just some little WIP and chats and reviews, but I loved doing it, and I have a soft spot for those of you that have been around since day one. But yeah, it's just that kind of thing. It's just set up your phone and just talk, Don't worry about trying to get everything just perfect. Be okay with, like, those first few videos are going to be messy. Get used to listening back to yourself. I did not like listening to my own voice for a while, and I would just kind of want to put up videos blindly and not listen back too much. And to this day, like, I don't listen back to my WIP and chats. I usually 99% of the time, I try to be very organic, and we're just talking. So it's that kind of video. But for some of your other videos, might be a good idea to just sort of get used to listening back, so that you can, if you want to do any little edits, or if you want to be able to, like, insert a picture or a little, like, note on the screen or something like that, or if you're editing different clips together or something, just, I guess, if you're like me and you felt weird about listening to your own voice, try to shake that off as quickly as you can so that you can, I guess, sort of edit without that being a distraction to you. Hold on a second. I think I pulled off, yeah, one too many. Okay, we're just right here. Let me double check my chart. Yeah, we are. Okay. So I guess those are just, some general tips I would give. But, there's no magic formula or magic thing to do or super big secret. It's hard work and time. And yeah, so I don't know if that helps or not. Like I said, maybe I should try to put that into like a little copy and paste list that I can share when I do get asked for thoughts or advice on starting a channel. So anyway, that was on my brain. Other things that have been going on. I just was thinking, I was kind of just looking over my little notes that I made for myself. Just how different things in general are since I started diamond painting. Is that the right one? I think so. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. There's a lot more diamond painter, like there's a lot more crafters in general out there. There's a lot more content creators. There's a lot more shops, and it's an ever evolving space. And like that's fun too, but it can also be like, okay, how do I adapt? How do I shift things? How do I keep it fresh? How do I keep it interesting, while still sticking with the things that I know and love and enjoy, and that you guys do too. But it was almost weird the first time that, like, I don't even remember what shop it was, but there was a shop that had opened after I started diamond painting, but then closed their doors, too, after, like, a year or two later. And I just thought, oh, that's kind of weird and it's sad too, to sort of not only have seen a shop open, but also shut down. It's made the task of sort of keeping up with this list of shops with licensed artwork, really tricky. The one that we have for our Diamonds and Emeralds Facebook group, which if you're on Facebook and you want to join a diamond painting community over there, there's tons of great groups over there. But my friend Lindsay from Emeralds and Fairy Lights, who I mentioned earlier, she and I share a Facebook group and have just a wonderful modmin team that I feel like it's kind of their group as well, honestly. But we have that group, and we have a list that we compiled with our mods to try to keep a list of shops with only legally licensed diamond paintings on it. And that has gotten really tricky to keep up to date, because there are a lot of shops that open and close or change ownership. And there's a lot of shops that'll kind of pop up open, and they just have, purely like AI artwork, which is, totally is what it is. But that has gotten really tricky to sort of vet as far as licensing goes as well. And so we do the best that we can with that doc as much as we can. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need one right there. Okay. But it's changing a lot faster than it did. Like I said, when I started diamond painting, when you could count on one hand, literally, the number of shops that had legally licensed diamond paintings. So it's, that's, I suppose, another tip maybe is don't be afraid to sort of try new things and change as things change. Oh, maybe that's a tip too. But anyway, I'm here for it. And to try to keep up with it and keep you guys up to date with what I'm seeing and trying out new shops and all that kind of stuff too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Okay. As far as other things that are going on, so general update on my just starting, like I mentioned earlier, about starting a new anxiety medication and how that's, you might hear me yawning more. It's affected my sleep some and just kind of thrown my schedule a little bit out of whack. But it's honestly the biggest thing that I have run into is that I am having a lot of headaches. I realize that I have had a headache almost every day, basically a headache or a migraine about every day since I started that medication. And I sent a message over to my doctor on Thursday, and she must have been out of the office on Friday because she didn't get back to me, but I did send her a message on Thursday just letting her know, like, hey, so I'm noticing this this particular side effect, and I just am not totally sure. Like, do you think I should try to keep pushing through and see if this is something that I'll adjust to? I fully understand that the first several weeks, especially the first 2 weeks, can be a lot as far as your body just trying to adjust to a new major medication. But I just thought, daily headaches and migraines, that's worth mentioning to my doctor and just go, okay, is this where we call it? And I did honestly, I felt a little bit silly that this hadn't occurred to me necessarily, but as I'm realizing like I'm coming off of a summer where I had significantly fewer migraines and headaches than I had had in a very long time, and or at least than I typically get during the summer or in recent summers where I feel like my migraines have gotten worse. And then when I started this new med, and then almost immediately I started having daily headaches and migraines that like only sometimes are responding to medication, I thought, oh my gosh, is this why I had all of those migraines getting worse last summer? Was because last summer, as in summer of 2022, not 2023, so like over a year ago, not just a few months ago, were my headaches really bad because I was on, I don't know if it was Zoloft or Prestige. I was on a different anti-anxiety / antidepressant. And I thought, was it because of that? Was that a key factor? And then I thought, okay, well, this is worth having a conversation with her as well. So once she responds, we'll kind of talk about it. And I wonder if we'll just go, maybe I need to try something that's not an SSRI. And I know there are other options out there that can work really well, but I hate having headaches all the time. I hate it. It makes me feel non-functional. And I don't want to keep taking medicine for headaches, obviously, because that presents its own whole host of problems, which I discovered on, I don't remember, Wednesday night, I think it was. So Wednesday, I was trying to go to sleep, and I was thinking, like, I don't want to take anything. I'm just going to try to go to sleep, and hopefully that'll kick this migraine that is coming on. Well, I wasn't able to fall asleep. The migraine just kept getting worse. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go take some medicine. And I have really mixed luck with my migraine medication, like my as needed medication working. And so I thought, I just want to kick this so that I can sleep. I'm so tired. I need to get good sleep. So I thought, I'm going to take Excedrin migraine. And that should like really knock it out. And so I took that, and I was just so exhausted that I then pretty much immediately went to sleep, which is kind of a mistake, because it was mistake number one, possibly my only mistake, but possibly also, one of two big mistakes. I'll explain. But it can be really, really hard on your stomach. And then I woke up a few hours later with just my stomach hurting terribly. And I thought, what is going on? Like, my stomach is killing me. Like, it hurt. It hurt so bad. And I thought, like, did I give myself an ulcer? Like, what is happening right now? Like, this is so painful. And so I made myself like get up, and I went and like ate something and drank a bunch of water. It's like 5:00 in the morning. And I'm realizing I realized that I couldn't remember if the last time I had taken Excedrin I had thought was 36 hours before, but I realized I may be misremembering, and it was actually less than 12 hours before. It was the afternoon of an earlier day in the week, and I thought it was a day and a half earlier. It may have only been a half a day earlier, which you're only supposed to take Excedrin once every Excedrin migraine, a dose once in 24 hours. By the way, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice about anything. I'm just talking about what I have, what I've used. My doctor, I should always mention that disclaimer. And so, and then my stomach just bothered me for like 2 more days. So I'm fine now, but I just thought this is just a mess. Like, I keep having these headaches and migraines, and it feels like even if it's not a migraine, it's just a constant low-level headache that wants to turn into a migraine. And I'm like, sure, maybe my anxiety feels better and those like terrible intrusive thoughts feel better, but I don't know about this. I don't know about this constant migraine situation. I'm not a fan. So that's, I understand this is just kind of part of the game. This is part of the like trying to find a medication that works for you and your body chemistry, and we'll figure it out. But and I'm sorry if this sounds as though I'm complaining, but I hate headaches. I hate migraines so much. And if you're a fellow migraine sufferer, I'm right there with you, and I'm so sorry that you deal with it as well. So we'll see. We'll see what this week has in store as far as that goes. Okay, make sure that I have this counting right. See, this is just going so fast. Just go straight across. We're doing all the black outlining. It's so nice. And then we need this one. So yeah, that's kind of the update on that front. I thought I would let you guys know just because it's something that I've been talking about here and keeping you guys up to date with a bit. What else is going on? We're trying to move forward on some things related to our house that had to go on hold for a little while. One of which is finally having our kitchen kind of put back together. Long story short, we had some water damage that we had taken care of at the beginning of the year, and we lost a couple of cabinets in our kitchen, but not all the cabinets, just a couple of cabinets, including like our tall pantry and a lower cabinet next to the stove. And now we're finally ready to have those replaced. They were able to save the drawers and the, forgetting the name of it, like the faces basically and the doors, so that it could just match. We had someone that we had talked with back then, a custom cabinet person that had come out and taken a look, given us like an estimate, and we had said, okay, we're not ready right this moment due to finances, but this is something we'll definitely want to do probably, in the relatively near future. So I reached back out to him, and it was a whole thing to like get him to come back out because he had some like personal life stuff come up, like a death in the family, and needed some time. And then it was hard to get like him pinned down to like come out and he wanted to take a look at the project again before he, started and committed. And so he finally got out here on this past Saturday. And he comes out and he kind of like takes a closer look at the materials, like what we have saved from the doors and the faces and stuff. And he looks at it and he goes, oh, and he points out to like these sort of like staple type things which were how these had been attached. And he just was like, that is going to be a ton of time and work to pry these out. And he is going on. He's like, I can't. He's like, I don't know if this is a project I can do at all. And I certainly couldn't do it for the initial estimate I'd given you, before he'd looked at the materials. I'm not mad about that. That's fine. But I'm disappointed that he's basically like, I don't think I can even do this project. He's like, I think that he basically said, he's like, I think you should just come up with a cheap like fill-in solution until you've saved enough to like reno your whole kitchen, like just get all new kitchen cabinets. And I'm thinking, sir, that is not going to be in our budget anytime in the near future, and it's not something I'm looking to do. like that just has tons of implications. I was like, no, I don't want to spend a ton of money on this thing when, yes, I could foresee us eventually wanting to fix up and maybe reno our kitchen at some point. Like, I'm talking like 5+ years down the road, maybe. And I'm like, but I want a functional kitchen now is what I want. And I don't have that because I'm missing my pantry cabinet and my, like, this whole counter instead of drawers. And we live in a really small space. Like, that's not a small amount of our storage. And we've just been making do in like a not fun way with stuff just sort of being haphazard. I'm like, I just want a functional kitchen. But I'm not looking to do a full kitchen reno right now, and I don't really want a stopgap solution when I don't think we're going to have the money saved for a full kitchen reno for a significant amount of time. That's just not practical. So we decided, like, we're going to have someone else come out. Like, we're going to get a second opinion, maybe a third opinion, and just see. And because I tried to suggest some ideas to him, I was like, well, what if you just didn't use these pieces? Like this, I don't know. It sounded like he didn't even want to do it, even if we were willing to pay more, like what he was asking. So I thought, you know what? If he's going to be really reluctant about even doing this job, even if we did pay him, then maybe that's not the right fit. So we'll start with getting some second opinions and seeing, if we're hearing the same thing from multiple people, then we'll take it from there. This is saving me time, by the way. So I just placed these ones over here in this color, and then there's none of that color in the middle, but then it comes back again over here on the right-hand side. But because this is kind of a symmetrical piece, a lot of these Mandy Manzano panel style kits are very symmetrical. So this just saves time because then I'm not searching for and pulling colors twice in a whole row. Just for this kit, this approach is working really well. So anyway, I was really discouraged and stressed on Saturday after that because I was like, I just want my kitchen functional again. And I just thought it was going to be a matter of having this guy come out and do this thing. And now he's basically like, no, I can't do that. So I don't know. I'm just stressed about that in particular because I just want it done. It is what it is. I do have, but we'll see. I'll make some calls this week. I have 1 or 2 other places to call, and we'll cross our fingers. 4:34. Okay. And then one fun thing we did this past weekend is we did a movie night with Connor. So Connor's old enough that like he's enjoying a lot more movies now, and from time to time we'll do movie nights. Sometimes Adam or I will take him to a movie at a movie theater. There's nothing really in theaters right now that he wants to see. So we decided to do a movie night with him at home, and we decided to try Star Wars again with him. We had tried with him. It's been over a year, probably closer to 2 years at this point. And it was just, he was too young for it. He couldn't follow it. He was kind of bored because it was a lot of dialogue and stuff. So we had we had tried it and gave up, maybe 20 minutes in. And we were like, okay, that's fine. Like, let's put on something else we know you're going to enjoy. But we thought, he's been enjoying a lot of other movies, and we think he might be able to follow it. So we put on, of course, we started with A New Hope, episode 4. Like, we're doing this in the correct order. And he was so into it, and it was really, really fun. He got really excited, like, because he knows some of the characters. He got extra excited when he saw Chewie on screen. He's like, it's Chewie, it's Chewbacca. And that was really cute. And he was so into it. Of course, he gets a little bit concerned when there's any peril. And he's like, are they gonna die? Are they gonna be okay? I'm like, just keep watching, buddy. It's okay. But by far my favorite thing that happened was it's at the end of the movie, and they're doing the run on the Death Star, and it's like after they've fired the shot, And I don't remember what Darth Vader says in that moment, but then Connor just completely unprompted out of nowhere just goes, "Take the L, Darth Vader." And Adam and I just completely lost it. It was so unexpected and so perfect. Oh my gosh. I like, I have to write that down. I put it on a t-shirt. It's so funny. Take the L, Darth Vader. You're not wrong, kiddo. And so that was a really fun little movie night with him. And so, yeah, that was a nice way to end our Saturday. Or no, it was Friday evening. That was Friday evening, not Saturday. That was delightful. And I had diamond painted a little bit that evening, and then I went over and sat with my boys and watched the movie with them. Micah was asleep. He would not sit for Star Wars, but maybe someday. But speaking of Micah, he's doing good. We had a meeting with his IEP team this week. I had asked his teacher, I was like, I feel like maybe we want to meet and talk and just see if maybe we want to adjust like some of his IEP goals. Let's all get on the same page, like very collaborative. We're not being combative or anything with the school teams. I'm kind of like, we're all in this together. Like, we all have the same goal in mind, which is just to like help Micah succeed and thrive and help him work through some of the struggles that he's having. And so we did have a meeting with them this past week, and I think it went well. I'm still hoping that we're going to be able to change something about he's in private speech therapy, and it's just for any of these sort of services for kids like speech therapy and OT and stuff like that, it's just, there's so much need, and not enough people to meet the need, like not enough therapists. And so like the wait list for us to get a speech therapy, like a weekly speech therapy session that's after school hours, like after the kids get out of school, is like 8 months long with our current speech therapist. And so I'm like, I think we're going to need, so right now, like Mike is just going into school late on speech therapy days. We have first thing in the morning and then we go to school, but we think that might be causing just a little bit too much difficulty for him. And so I'm going to look into, maybe some alternative options, some other therapy groups maybe, and see if there's anyone else that just has availability for those after school slots that isn't, months out for a wait list. So fingers crossed, but I know that's what everyone wants. Anyone with kids wants those. They're really coveted kind of after school spots, but it's just, I say it, I feel like every week at this point, but like parenting is hard. Parenting is so freaking hard. And we're really just trying to do the very best that we can, and trying to like weigh all of the factors and figure out like, okay, what is the best call in this situation? And it's made me feel so much more gracious towards, and like, I just will give the benefit of the doubt to an extreme fault when it comes to other parents and the decisions they make with their kiddos, because I'm like, you know what? It's all hard. It's all just really, really hard. And really, we're all just trying our best in some really darn difficult circumstances sometimes. So, and gosh darn it, I was a perfect parent before I had kids. And I was a perfect parent to other people's kids before my kids got difficult. So it's just, you never know what someone's going through. But I think that it's always good to give people the benefit of the doubt and assume that they are trying their very best. But that's just me. Other things that have been going on, I think, okay, I had to pause this clip, and so I'm doing, and so now I'm doing the math for like how long this one's been going, how long the first one was, and where I'm at. Is that my cat throwing up, or is that just, I think that's just something else moving. I was like, I do not want to clean up throw up right now. So, okay, we're actually closer to the hour mark than I realized. Okay, so that's kind of the main stuff. This week, let me go back to what I've been reading and watching and listening to. So as far as reading goes, well, I'm excited because I think this week I'm going to be starting Kingdom of Ash finally, which is the last book in the Throne of Glass series. I think our whole reading crew has finished the tandem read that we were doing, and so I'm like, okay, let's get going, let's start it. So I think I'm going to start in on that this week as an audiobook, because I do enjoy getting to do audiobooks while I'm diamond painting. And then as far as what I'm watching, obviously Loki season 2, and I'm really enjoying it a lot. I love that it's more of sort of what I thought the first season was going to be, which was like their shenanigans throughout different time periods, and we're getting to see more of that, and actually getting to see like more of Loki's like magic and stuff. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it, and getting to see like the characters in period gear, like it's just as fun. It's way too fun. And then I did finish the first season and the first, I think, 5 episodes of Our Flag Means Death, which is a show that I started a little bit on a whim. It had been on my list, and it was because I was in adjacent fandoms, and there was like crossover. People were like, oh, I love this show, but I also like go watch Our Flag Means Death. And so I did, and someone had one of you guys had commented in last week's WIP and Chat. They're like, oh my gosh, welcome to Our Flag Means Death. It has a soul in a chokehold. And yeah, that's an appropriate way to describe it. But blitzed right through it, and once again, like, what is with these shows that just like end with trying to rip your heart out at the end of a season? Like, first it was like Good Omens, and now it's this show. I'm like, oh my gosh. But thankfully I started watching this show after like season 5 had started airing, and so I don't have to wait that long for like the resolution of that cliffhanger. But I need to go check and see. I don't remember what day of the week they're dropping new episodes, but I think there've got to be more than the first 5 by this point, so I'll have to go check after this. And I did get Adam watching it too, so yeah, he was giggling about it during last week's WIP and Chat, but absolutely enjoy that show. And then as far as what I'm listening to, Adam had sent me a podcast episode yesterday of a podcast he listens to called Heavyweight. And it was a really sweet and short episode of that podcast that was a really cute story. And I'm not familiar with the podcast otherwise, but I did listen to that. But otherwise, nothing new and exciting on that front. But that's just, the little weekly update of what I've been watching, reading, and listening to. And as far as what's coming up this week, well, I will say it's going to be a very Diamond Art Club heavy week. I have my sneak peek from last week didn't arrive in time. It's scheduled to arrive tomorrow, which is today for you guys. And so depending on when that arrives, that video will go up either later today, which is later Monday, or it'll go up first thing Tuesday. But then I also have a midweek release that I need to do a sneak peek for, and then a normal weekend release. And so it's just going to be a really Diamond Art Club heavy week. And I always feel a little uncertain about that, because I just don't necessarily want to be like, oh, my channel is only about this one company, but that just is how it is. And I'll try to have a nice variety of other content for you guys this week. But also, my mom gets into town this week and is going to be here for a couple of weeks, I think. Less than 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks to visit. And so you'll still see plenty of regular content from me. I'll probably mostly film after my kids go to bed, and but I probably won't do as much diamond painting during the day, because we're just going to be having fun doing things around the house and shopping and brunching and all those things. So anyway, looking forward to the upcoming week, but that, I think we're going to stop there. So you kind of got to see how I'm approaching working on this. We got to see I'm kind of filling in, and it's nice to have these black outlines throughout to reference on the chart to know where to place the other colors. So it's working out well, I think. But I will have all these things linked below. And let's see, if you made it all the way to the end of this WIP and Chat, how about an emoji with the color green in it in honor of our resident god of mischief? But let me know how you're doing, how your weekend was, or anything fun you have going on this week. I'm glad you're here. You spent some time with me today. I have This headache is turning into a raging migraine, so I think I'm going to go I might take something and just kind of lay down in a dark room and hope that it goes away. But I was still really glad to get to spend some time with you today, and I hope that you're well and taking care of yourself. And yeah, just let me know in the comments how you are, what you are working on, and a green emoji too. So anyway, you guys, I hope you have a week that is as amazing as you are, and I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye.